So, is anyone else sick of how performative everything is now? I remember a couple years ago, we used to use this word phony. Today, I've seen this word LARPing, LARPer, those words come out. And it's perfect for how I feel about society today. Even when I was a young boy and I hung around my mom and her peers, realized that the group didn't really like each other. You can hear it in the backhanded compliments. You could hear it in the word choices. You just knew that people weren't really enjoying themselves. You can feel it in the room. So I didn't really understand it as a kid. Why are these people hanging out with each other and they don't really like each other? And I thought maybe like they had like business adult reasons. But now that I'm an adult, I'm 24 years old, I realized that that's just what adulthood is. And I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting how performative society is now. We have people buying fake luxury items, or some people will buy the real luxury item, act like they can afford things like assets like that. I don't even know if I should call it an asset, but things. And we now live in a society where anytime I talk to anyone, they'll always make it sound like they're more educated, they make more money than they do, or they have more status than they do. If they're men, they act like they get a lot more women than they do. And I'll give you an example of why it's so sickening. Like, I feel like every guy group has this one guy that swears he gets all these girls and he's texting them. He's always showing you these text messages, but you've never seen him with a woman in real life. It's kind of like that. Like, that's what society has turned to. We have just these bunch of people with these claims and jargon, and nothing is real, right? You're sick of it. I'm sick of it because we also have a bunch of people who I'm not sure if it's selfishness, but they hang around even though they don't like the people that they're around. Like, I've been in groups where, like friend groups, where I swear the whole group hated each other, but they just somehow meet up every day because what happens is it's like a hateful group. So if one person were to leave, the rest of the group that doesn't even like each other will kind of hate on that one person. So by knowing this group nature, no one wants to leave, and that's kind of how I feel that society is. And I've been in those groups, and it's very compelling because no one wants to be that person that's left out. When I left those groups, it felt uncomfortable. Even for me, I'm very self-aware, but at the same time, I could care less, but it still felt uncomfortable. But society has really become performative, and I'm not sure why no one's even addressing it. It feels like we're a bunch of teenagers that pick these characters, and we expect the whole world to believe it. And you better believe it, because if you scrutinize someone's character, once again, they attack you, they scrutinize you, they try to see where your shortcomings are, and they go for that. And it's not worth the battle. It's not worth the argument. So you end up not scrutinizing them. You end up just acting or never correcting them. And I'm not even sure if people believe these people's lies or like these people's acts. It's just like no one ever corrects them. So we just have to listen to it. And I think that's the most annoying part. Like, we just have these people who feels like they can just fool the world, and they're just roaming around, and I don't know what it is. And the reason it bothers me is I feel like this is preventing genuine connection. This first occurred to me when a couple weeks ago I was talking to this person, and he swore like he was like this tech genius. And I came from a computer science background. I studied 4 years, and I develop apps before and after AI, so I know what I'm talking about in this field. And this person said all the right buzzwords to kind of lure me. He was a good LARPer, per se. But he lured me in. He made me think that he knew what he was talking about. So I invested more time, and we met up and everything. And when I saw what he's been working on, it just really disappointed me because in my mind, I thought I finally figured out or I finally found someone who just understood, who understood coding or just things at a deeper level. Someone who's finally interesting. Damn, finally someone who's not like everybody else. Finally someone who's not pretending to know. I just thought like I finally figured out or found someone that is worth networking with. But then when I saw what he's been working on, Claude Code within 15 minutes can make what he made, but better, right? And he swore he's been working on it for months. So I think it's gone too far to the point that not we and you and me, the viewers, but society has started believing their own lies. These people tell themselves they get all these women and they believe their own lies. So they don't become the person that they want to be. This person swore he knew how tech worked and everything. And he probably believed it. He probably believed that he knew how it worked because he watched a YouTube video and a couple reels. He probably believed that he knew. But when in reality, he didn't. He believed his own lie, and that was the fault. But this is the trend I've been noticing. Like everyone, almost everyone, the vast majority of people I speak to, and the people who aren't are very close to me to this day. But the vast majority of people who I meet now, that I want to connect with, they never have the full they never have the full credentials that they claim to have at the start. And I think that's the problem. We just have a bunch of phonies, a bunch of LARPing, a bunch of just performative behavior from society. I don't know. Maybe you guys are sick of it too. I'm just sick of it because it prevents me from knowing where to find these genuine connections. And maybe that's where my frustration is coming from, and maybe that's the entire point of this video. But I think I'll leave it here before it gets too long. Thank you guys again. Once again, we're posting a video a day, once a day for the next year. I'll always talk about something that's interesting to me, and I think a lot. So maybe you'll find it interesting as well. Stay tuned. If you're joining, glad to have you on. Thank you.